Have you ever had one of those simple ideas and just thought, man, someone should really build an app for that? Well, what if that someone was you? And what if you could take that simple idea and turn it into a real recurring income stream? Not in a year, but maybe this weekend? Okay, let's really get into this.
We have all been there, right? You're stuck in some super repetitive manual workflow, copying and pasting data between spreadsheets, just thinking there has got to be a better way. For years, building a software solution meant one of two things. Either you spent months learning to code, or you spent thousands of dollars hiring a developer. The idea was never the problem. The execution was. That gap between a great idea and a real product was it was too wide for most of us to cross. But now, that entire barrier has just been completely demolished by AI. So in this explainer, we're basically going on a founder's journey together. We're going to start by looking at this huge opportunity called the Micro-SaaS Gold Rush. Then we'll totally rewire our thinking with a super important mindset shift. Listen first, build second. After we figure out how to validate a profitable idea, we'll dive into the real magic, prompting an actual working app into existence using AI. And from there, we'll cover the nuts and bolts of launching to your first paying customers, and finally, how to scale that small start into your very own tiny empire. All right, let's kick things off with the big picture. We are in such a unique moment right now, a genuine gold rush for a new kind of software business. And look, this isn't about building the next billion-dollar unicorn. No. It's about something much more achievable and honestly, way more profitable for you on a personal level. This is the new digital frontier, and you don't need a huge crew or a massive investment to stake your claim. So what in the world is a micro-SaaS? Let's break this down, because every single word here matters. It's a small, focused tool. It doesn't try to do 10 different things. It does one thing, and it does it perfectly. Think of a tool that only turns YouTube transcripts into blog posts, or one that only generates social media captions for real estate agents. It solves one clear, painful problem. Not just a minor inconvenience, but a real frustration, something that wastes time and makes someone groan. And it does this for a specific group of people, a niche. We're talking accountants, Etsy sellers, podcast editors. You're not building for everyone, you're building for someone. And this really shows you the difference, and it is a night and day contrast. Traditional software as a service, or SaaS, that's the stuff we're used to, like Salesforce or Adobe. It's a massive undertaking. You need venture capital, a big team, years of development. The micro-SaaS approach, it flips that entire model on its head. It's lean, it's fast, and it's designed to be run by one person. The goal isn't world domination. It's about solving a really specific, high-value problem for a group that's been overlooked and building a profitable little business you can run from anywhere. Which brings us to right now, in 2026, and why this is truly a golden age for this model. The big change? These powerful, AI-driven, no-code builders have completely removed the technical barrier to entry. What used to take a team of engineers months of coding can now literally be prompted into existence by a single person in a single weekend. The new competitive advantage isn't how well you can code, it's how fast you can execute and how well you can find the right problem to solve. Your deep knowledge of a specific niche is now way more valuable than your ability to write Python. Okay, so we see the opportunity. Now let's talk about the mindset you absolutely need to have to succeed, because this is probably the most important part of the entire process. Most people get this completely backward, and it's why so many brilliant-sounding ideas end up with 0 users. It's not about the tech. It's about a total shift in how you think. Here it is, the big secret. You don't win by having a brilliant idea in the shower and then locking yourself away for 6 months to build it. No. You win by finding a community, listening to what they complain about over and over again, finding their exact pain points, and then building the solution with them. If you build something without a clear signal from the market that people actually need it and are willing to pay for it, you're just guessing. And in business, guessing is a very, very expensive hobby. And this right here is the path to success, the audience-first flywheel. So let's walk through it. First, you build a tiny, engaged audience. And I mean tiny. 50 people in a niche who trust you is way more than enough. You find them where they already are, Reddit, LinkedIn, specific communities. You don't sell them anything. You just hang out, you add value, you listen. Which brings us to step 2, you listen. What's driving them crazy? What messy spreadsheets are they passing around? That's gold. Step 3, you build a small, simple solution for one of those problems. Your goal is just a single wow moment.
Step 4, you make it incredibly easy for them to share that wow moment. And finally, step 5, you take every win, every testimonial, and you reinvest it back into growing that audience, which just makes the flywheel spin faster and faster.
But here's a huge trap you have to avoid. When you're listening, people will tell you your idea is cool or, oh, that's interesting. But compliments are not validation. They're cheap, and they can lead you down a dead-end road. The only, and I mean only, true signal that you found a problem worth solving is when someone pulls out their credit card to pay for your solution. Even if it's just a pre-order for something that's not even fully built yet. People tell you the truth with their wallets. So how do we get from some vague idea to a crystal clear signal that people will actually pay you for it? This next part is all about a practical, step-by-step framework for finding and testing your ideas before you sink any real time or energy into building. This is how you de-risk the whole thing. The raw material for a successful micro-SaaS is just evidence of manual work, and it is everywhere if you know how to look for it. Go to subreddits for specific jobs like, I don't know, videography or bookkeeping, and just search for phrases like, how do I automate, or is there a tool for this? Look at the comments on YouTube tutorials. When you see a dozen people begging the creator for their spreadsheet template, ding, 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 that's a signal. Find communities where people are sharing these insane, messy spreadsheets to manage something. Even job descriptions are a goldmine. If you see a job posting that lists manually compile weekly reports, you've just found a painful task that a business is actively paying someone to do. And of course, just look at your own work. What drives you crazy every week? That's a powerful signal right there. This is maybe the simplest rule of thumb you can follow, and it is so incredibly powerful. A spreadsheet is basically a manual attempt to solve a software problem. It proves that the pain exists and that people are already trying to cobble together their own solution, even if it's clunky. When you see a process being managed in a spreadsheet, you're not guessing if the problem is real. You're just offering a much better solution. Okay, but finding the pain is only half the battle. The people feeling that pain must also have a budget to solve it. So let's look at this pain versus budget matrix. The top left corner here, high pain but low budget, is a total trap. This is where you find students who hate doing citations or hobbyists who wish something was easier. They feel the pain, for sure, but they can't or won't pay for a solution. The bottom two quadrants are just low-pain problems that nobody's in a rush to solve. But that top right quadrant, that is the gold mine. This is where you find businesses and professionals with a high-pain problem that is directly costing them time or money. They have the pain, which creates urgency, and they have the budget, which creates revenue. You have to live in this quadrant. All right, you've done the hard work. You've been listening, you've found a painful problem in that top right goldmine quadrant, and you've got a validated idea. Now for the really fun part. Turning that idea into a real working product using pretty much just AI. This is where the theory stops and we get hands-on. So to make this super practical, let's use a case study. We're going to build an invoice PDF to Excel converter. Now, why this? Because it is a perfect micro-SaaS problem. Think about it. Finance teams, freelancers, small business owners, they spend hours every single week manually typing line items from PDF invoices into spreadsheets. It's tedious, it is soul-crushingly boring, it's easy to make mistakes, and it is a classic high-pain, high-budget problem that businesses will gladly pay to make go away. So using an AI app builder, we can start with a simple, clear prompt, just like this one, in plain English. Now let's break this down. First, we give it a clear name. That's also great for search engines. Invoice PDF to Excel. Smart. Then we define the core user flow. Upload, extract, output. Super simple. We even include a key feature like a preview table, which is crucial because it builds trust. The user can see the data is right before they download. And here's the most important part. We bake the business model right into the prompt. Add a free trial with limits, then paid plans. By doing this, we're telling the AI not just to build a tool, but to build a business. It's going to create the logic for user accounts, paywalls, and different subscription tiers right from the very start. Now let's be real. The first version the AI spits out is almost never perfect. It might be, 80% of the way there, but that last 20% is what separates a fun little toy from a professional tool. And this is the most important lesson in building with AI. The magic isn't in the first prompt. It's in the process of conversational refinement. You treat the AI like a junior developer. You don't start over, you just give it feedback. You clarify your instructions, and you guide the app towards what you want. So a follow-up prompt like this makes all the difference. Maybe the first version just dumped all the text it found into the spreadsheet. It kind of worked, but it was messy. This refinement prompt is like giving our junior developer a very specific set of instructions. By telling it to use a structured schema and defining the exact fields we need, vendor, date, description, price. We force the AI to produce much cleaner, more reliable, and more valuable results. We could then go even further. Say it's not grabbing the sales tax correctly. Our next prompt would just be, create a new column for tax and make sure you identify it. If there's no tax, just leave the cell blank. This back and forth is how you go from a basic idea to a pro-level product in minutes, not months. Okay, so you have a working product. You've tested it, you've refined it, and it solves a real painful problem. Now what? Now you need to get it in front of people. And the goal here isn't to go viral. The goal is just to find your first 10 true allies. These are the people who will give you that crucial early feedback, your first testimonials, and become your biggest champions. Their success is your success. A lot of people get totally overwhelmed here, thinking they need this huge audience right away. You really don't. Let's just look at some simple, pretty conservative math. Let's say you get 10,000 visitors to your site over a few months. If just 2% of them sign up for a free trial, that's 200 trial users. And if only 10% of those trial users see enough value to switch to a paid plan, that's 20 paying customers. At, say, $20 a month, that's $400 in monthly recurring revenue. It's not a fortune, but it's a real signal. It's a profitable business. All of a sudden, that big, scary goal feels a lot more mathematical and achievable, right? So, how do we get those first visitors without a big ad budget? Here's the playbook. First, targeted SEO. Don't write generic blog posts. Create specific pages that answer the exact question your user is Googling, like how to extract invoice line items to spreadsheet. Second, short-form video demos. Show the entire before and after in under 15 seconds. Show a messy PDF, then your app, then a perfect spreadsheet. That visual is so powerful. Third, low-friction outreach. Go back to those communities where you started. Don't spam them with buy my product. Instead say, hey everyone, remember how we're always complaining about this? I built a little tool to help. Can a few of you test it and give me some feedback? It's an invitation to collaborate, not a sales pitch. And finally, once you have a few happy customers, set up a simple affiliate program. Give them a reason to spread the word for you. Getting that first customer, it's a huge milestone. It is proof that you created something of real value. But the goal is to turn that initial spark of momentum into a sustainable, growing business, a tiny empire that runs on a system, not just your constant hustle. This is where you go from being a founder to being a CEO. Let's talk pricing. Rule number 1, charge from day 1. Free users are great for feedback, but paying users validate your entire business. Now, this is how you structure your pricing plans effectively. Notice the main difference between the plans isn't just a random list of features. It's the conversions per month. This is called a value-based pricing. The core value of our tool is saving time, so we price it based on how much time we're saving them. A freelancer with just a few invoices a month can use a cheap plan. A business processing hundreds will happily pay more because the tool is saving them way more time and money. It perfectly aligns your revenue with their success. You're not just selling software, you're selling outcomes. So we've walked through the entire journey from finding a painful problem to building an AI-powered solution and getting your first paying customers. The window of opportunity for this is wide open right now. But it is not going to stay that way forever. The tools are here. The playbook is clear. The old barriers, technical skill, needing tons of money, they're gone. The only thing missing now is execution. So I'll just leave you with this. What painful manual workflow that you see every single day will you choose to automate this week? The time to start building is right now.